UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson killed in Brazen, targeted attack in NYC, manhunt underway. Brian Thompson, the chief executive of Minnetonka-based UnitedHealthcare, has been shot and killed in Manhattan in what police officials called a brazen attack that apparently targeted the Maple Grove resident. Thompson, 50, was fatally shot outside the Hilton hotel in Midtown, where video evidence indicates the gunman was lying in wait for several minutes and approached from behind, firing several rounds that struck Thompson at least once in the back and leg, said Jessica Tisch, commissioner of the New York City Police Department, at a Wednesday news conference. Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was shot and killed in what appears, in this early stage of our investigation, to be a brazen, targeted attack, Tisch said. This does not appear to be a random act of violence. The police commissioner added, "I want to be clear, at this time, every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack." Police are offering a $10,000 reward for information on what they described as a homicide. They said the shooting occurred at about 6:40 a.m. Eastern Time. Thompson was walking toward the hotel, police said, to attend the annual Investor Day conference for parent company UnitedHealth Group. The shooter arrived on the location about 5 minutes before Thompson, who was walking alone without a security detail, said Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenny. Video shows the suspect step out from behind a car and ignore other pedestrians before shooting Thompson from behind, Kenny said. The suspect then walked toward Thompson and continued to shoot until the gun apparently malfunctioned. After clearing the jam, the shooter began to fire again, Kenny said, and then fled on foot. Responding to reporter questions, Kenny said police don't know if the shooter could have been a professional, nor could investigators say if there was a silencer on the weapon. From watching the video, he said, it does seem that he's proficient in the use of firearms as he was able to clear the malfunctions pretty quickly. After his initial flight from the scene, the suspect was later seen riding on an e-bike, including when he was spotted in Central Park. The motive for this murder currently is unknown, Kenny said. Based on the evidence we have so far, it does appear that the victim was specifically targeted. But at this point, we do not know why. Thompson was CEO of UnitedHealthcare, the nation's largest health insurer. It is a division of parent Minnetonka-based UnitedHealth Group, which is the fourth largest public company in America behind Walmart, Amazon, and Apple. His wife, Paulette Thompson, told NBC News that he had been receiving threats. There had been some threats, she said in a phone call to NBC News. Basically, I don't know, a lack of coverage? I don't know details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him. During a police news conference, reporters asked Kenny if there was any evidence to suggest a connection between the killing and a patient upset over insurance coverage. We're looking at everything, the chief of detectives said. We're looking at Thompson's social media. We are interviewing employees. We are interviewing family members. We will be speaking to law enforcement in Minnesota. Thompson arrived in New York on Monday, Kenny said. Police had begun the process to search Thompson's hotel room, he said, adding, "We're reaching out to law enforcement in Minnesota, and we're also interviewing his coworkers and family members to see if there have been any specific threats against him in the past." Thompson was named chief executive of the insurance division in April 2021. For several years prior, he ran the Medicare Advantage business within UnitedHealthcare, which has been at the center of recent industry scrutiny over risk adjustment payments and prior authorization denials. Company leaders were gathered in New York at the annual investors conference for parent company UnitedHealth Group when CEO Andrew Whitty abruptly halted the meeting just after 8 a.m. Central Time. "We're dealing with a very serious medical situation with one of our team members," Whitty said. "As a result, I'm afraid we're going to have to bring to a close the event." Thompson's two sons are Wayzata High School students, one current and one who graduated this year past spring. His eldest son lettered 3 years on the lacrosse team, said one of his coaches. His parents were present around all of the team events, said assistant coach Brandon Carlson, who saw breaking news reports of Brian Thompson's death but had not realized it was the father of his former athlete. Brian Thompson and wife Paulette Revas Thompson were very supportive of their son, Carlson said. "He's an amazing young man and a teammate everyone would want to have. His second son is a sophomore and active on the track and field team. Wayzata High School Principal Scott Gengler sent a note to staff Wednesday morning expressing deep sympathies to the family. In response, Wayzata High School has taken immediate steps to support our students and staff as they process this devastating event, Gengler wrote in a memo shared with the Star Tribune. Our student support teams are available and are offering a safe and supportive space for students and staff to grieve and find comfort. Additionally, our dedicated team of social workers is available to provide personalized support and guidance for those who need it. Thompson was an executive with the company for 2 decades. He graduated in 1997 from the University of Iowa, where he studied business administration and accounting, according to a LinkedIn page. He was humble, a servant leader, and family man, said John Penshorn, a former UnitedHealth Group executive who worked with Thompson for more than a decade before retiring in 2019. Steve Parente, a health economist at the University of Minnesota and former healthcare official in the Trump administration, said he worked with Thompson to help create a system for distributing federal financial aid to healthcare providers during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. He was just an incredible guy, nice, resourceful, said Parente, who worked in the White House at the time. This is just a total tragedy. Several prominent Minnesotans took to social media Wednesday morning to express their condolences over the loss. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said on social media, "This is horrifying news and a terrible loss for the business and healthcare community in Minnesota. Minnesota is sending our prayers to Brian's family and the UnitedHealthcare team." Senator Amy Klobuchar said, "This is a horrifying and shocking act of violence. My thoughts are with Brian Thompson's family and loved ones and all those working at UnitedHealthcare in Minnesota." UnitedHealth Group issued a statement saying the company was working closely with the New York Police Department. "We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague," the company said. "Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who worked with him. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who are close to him."